Now I request Mr. Tejwinder Anand from Population Foundation of India. Tejwinder, if you are there, I can.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Good morning. Hi, Tejwinder. Good morning. So he will be presenting about an artificial intelligence application, SnehAI, which Population Foundation of India has started. It is basically about reporting of online child sexual exploitation and abuse. So over to you, Tejwinder. Please, you have about 20 minutes.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me here today, and been listening to all the insightful sessions. And like Ajay mentioned, I will share about an artificial intelligence chatbot that we built at Population Foundation of India, particularly on the issue of online safety and uh, within that online exploitation of sexual exploitation and abuse of children. So I'll just share my screen and then we can get going. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, visible. Yes, visible.
Okay, fantastic. Yep. So, yes, we've all been talking why online safety is important, and particularly in the case of children. And slowly over the past few years, we've been moving towards an online model. And we've seen that the pandemic really has accelerated the use of the internet and new age technologies, digital tools, especially for online learning for children, but other forms of delivery as well, whether it's entertainment or whether it's social interaction. So the world has really moved swiftly towards an online model. So if we look at some data related to adolescents and internet, as part of this project, we did a baseline study earlier on in 2021. And if you look at data, about 48% of the respondents who were all adolescents believe that the online world is safe for them. And 18% of them indicated that they go online to make new friends. And of those 18%, almost 30% mentioned that they interact with new people or strangers on the internet. So that's something that's really needs to be taken note of. This is something that Ajay was also sharing information earlier on, that a lot of adolescents and young children do not have adult supervision. So nearly 80% of them do not have close adult supervision when they are on the internet. I don't know if you're seeing the second slide.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are right.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, and about 75% of adolescents are online for more than 2 hours in a day. And if we go to more than 3 hours in a day, this number is around 35%, which is like a big percentage. So that's about them on the internet. And looking at abuse that happens with children and women and girls on the internet, 15% have reported being bullied online. Between 2017 and 18, cyberbullying of women and teenagers rose by about 36%, uh, whereas the conviction rates fell to about 25% from 40 earlier on. And 36% of the respondents said that they were harassed by strangers and anonymous social media users. And if you look at this information from the earlier data, which I mentioned, about 30% of people who go online to make friends interact with strangers, right? in 2020, 93% of the child sexual abuse material that was discovered online involved girls, and 44% of our respondents from the baseline study admitted to not being educated on risks online. However, the majority of them claim to be educated on this subject, but they could not give really any specifics of what online abuse meant or what are the options available for help. So abuse is a real and a very significant problem on the internet. And shame and abuse has always been used to exploit and silence young people, especially girls, as we've seen in the earlier data also. And in the online world post the COVID pandemic, it's further amplified and really gotten deep into the user sets. There are laws available, but a lot more needs to be done. And clearly what we have is not enough to protect children from online harassment. Internet is often hailed for its potential for education and the whole democratization of knowledge. But the web world has also become the site for violence, which may feed into offline crime as well. And young people not only are victims, but sometimes they are also the perpetrators of the harmful online behavior. And we really need to make online spaces safer by helping young girls and boys identify different kinds of online safety risks, and also learn about appropriate and inappropriate behaviors. Something that they need to be aware of while being online is also not to indulge in harmful online behaviors, which may be harmful for others, and really offer them support in becoming better equipped in their consumption of the online content. But for this, all stakeholders need to come together for collective action to protect young girls and boys. So who are these key stakeholders? If we take a quick look, of course, the young people, particularly girls who are online. There are more than 800 million online social media users currently across the world, and a lot of them experience online abuse. So they're, of course, the key stakeholders who need to be made aware of these issues. Social media influencers who can spread the word across the world. Law enforcement to ensure that the laws are not just framed but also implemented. Civil society organizations like ourselves and the community at large, also teachers, parents. We've seen in the earlier presentation by Sonali, I think, why the role of parents is so much important. And digital gatekeepers, the social media organizations, the phone companies, the whole ecosystem of the online world. So all of us really need to come together and take collective action to address this issue. So when I say collective action, what does this action really mean? One is, of course, to catalyze conversations on the importance of online safety for children through forums like these. Build tools to connect with the audience and create a knowledge pool around the issues. That's something that I'll share on SnehAI, the chatbot that we've built. And the campaign that we will also do with it around online safety is really to create awareness of such resources and other support available for victims in these cases. And strategic engagement for strengthening the existing laws and also their effective implementation. So that's what a whole lot of collective action means. In terms of key issues to be addressed, this is something that was informed through the baseline that we did. So there are 6 key issues that we really need to look at. One is awareness that this problem can impact me. Again, this is something that Sonali touched upon earlier on, that people need to be aware, adolescents especially, that this problem can affect me. It sounds very basic, but there needs to be a a level of awareness that this can or can't happen to me. That feeling really needs to be taken care of, and building a safety net of parents and teachers who care about young people and adolescents, and watch out for any red flags that may be undesirable. Awareness of safeguards. This is really about making adolescents aware about online safety and the behaviors that they need to be taking care of when they're online, whether it's as simple as using strong passwords or blocking any strangers with undesirable or unsolicited contact, and other aspects of online safe behavior, which will include downloading only from authentic apps or not clicking on online unknown links, those kind of things. Awareness of recourse. The third issue, again, encouraging adolescents and parents and the guardians to really have those uncomfortable conversations around online safety and sexual exploitation and abuse, and being aware of recourses available like helplines, the child helpline or the cybercrime helpline, those kind of things. Awareness amongst potential perpetrators is, like I mentioned, certain behavior is sometimes seen as norm, and that really needs to be called out. So making harmful remarks or something maybe called as playful contact, obscene comments, gestures. So not sort of normalizing those and calling them out early on is also part of being a responsible online citizen and safe behavior when you're online. So not being hurtful to other people when you're interacting with them. Destigmatization, this is of course a huge point that needs to be taken care of, that there needs to be awareness that the victim or the survivor is not really at fault, and so that other victims do not fear being chastised, and they do not sort of go without reporting in case there's an online abuse that they experience. And of course, wider dissemination. Any content that's being developed, whether it's online videos, whether it's the book that Prerna was mentioning, any content that's being, and tools that are being created are distributed as freely and widely to build sensitization on these issues. And one such channel is, of course, SnehAI, the bot that we've developed. And it may be really worthwhile as part of this dissemination to include parents and guardians also along with adolescents. So I'll quickly get on to talking about SnehAI, the tool that I've been talking about. It really addresses the lack of availability of accurate information on online CSEA. So even if there is awareness, or there is a victim who wants information, or there's a parent who wants some information on these issues, the lack of really accurate information is something that needs to be handled. And through this campaign, we're trying to reach young users in the age group of 13 to 19. Since the bot is embedded on Facebook Messenger, and Facebook really doesn't allow young people to have accounts lower than age 13. So 13 is our sort of age limit. But the idea really is to reach out to anyone who's online, especially young children going online. There's one kid that goes online, new kid, every half a second. So there's a whole lot of target audience that we need to reach out through this campaign. So the bot is a digital companion for people to improve knowledge on issues of adolescent health and well-being. It was launched earlier in 2019 as part of an extension of our Population Foundation's transmedia show Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hu. It was a television show which spoke about issues related to adolescent sexual and reproductive health. So what really started out as an extension of that, and it provided a non-judgmental and a friendly persona to the target audience so that they could have conversations which they couldn't usually have with other people in the community. And the language and the tone of voice of the bot has really been co-created with adolescents through various tests and interactions with them. It has rich media features, videos, etc., engaging content like quizzes, stories to keep them coming back to the bot and learning more about issues which impact their health and well-being. And yeah, so while it started as a bot on sexual and reproductive health, we've now expanded the scope to online safety, which is really important in the day and age today. And so one aspect of the bot is to provide users with content which makes them aware on issues related to their well-being, and then also connects them to relevant services or helplines if they need support, if they're seeking any support. So like I said, it works on Facebook Messenger as of now. There's a website also, SnehAI.org, where the young people can go and interact with the bot in case they are not on Facebook Messenger, or they do not want to log on to, or they do not have a Facebook account, so they can chat as guests or as well. As of last year, we had some 8.67 million conversations on the original content on sexual and reproductive health, and as so different themes of contraceptive choices, safe sex, unplanned pregnancies, and other adolescent issues like child marriage, mental health, peer pressure, etc. Yeah, so the bot has grown over the years. Initially, it was just a click button approach that the bot had, where users could engage with the menu and select options from the menu and learn about the issues being presented there. However, we've now moved on to natural language processing, and the bot is able to understand English text as well. So that's the language that most young people chat using. So Hindi language, but typed in Roman English script. Brings in a lot of flexibility and engagement onto the bot. And as part of our next version, we've now addressing the whole lack of availability of information around online child sexual exploitation and abuse. Targeting young people, there was a baseline survey that we did to understand the issues that we could build and themes that we could really build onto the bot. We worked with a legal advisor to also advise us on building a strict privacy policy for the bot. So the themes that we are really covering now as part of online safety are divided into 4 broad heads. There's digital safety, which includes impersonation, hacking, financial fraud. There's harassment, which is really large, the largest bucket of cyberbullying, stalking, peer pressure, grooming, and self-doubt and shame, which covers trolling, sexual shaming, body shaming, victim teasing, and consent about sexting, and distribution of non-consensual images and videos. So it's all in an animated format, which is very engaging and entertaining to also look at and share. So there are stories, there are some simple quizzes which can inform the young people on the issues that we're trying to address, and videos also which they can again watch on the bot, share it on their social media or with their friends. And helplines, both of course on the issue of child protection and online safety, but we've also included some women safety helplines within the bot and on the website as well. And as part of the tools, like I said, there's an online website where people can watch these resources, share these resources, chat with the bot with or without login. There is video content which can be shared freely otherwise also. And of course, the chatbot itself, which works on mobiles, which is really where all the young people are accessing internet now. In fact, more than 92% of them access internet only on mobiles. That's what our baseline also told us. So that's what I have on SnehAI. And it's really on to all of us to get together and start the right conversations and create awareness on this issue.
Thank you so much, Tejwinder, and it was a lovely presentation. And I think more and more people will now start using this chatbot, as you were saying. You said how many conversations you already had? How many million?
So we've had some 8 million conversations, and with this new campaign that we're now sort of going to launch, hopefully next month, we'll try and drive more and more awareness for the chatbot and of course the issue.
Great, great. And it gets you also kind of tag it with Facebook Messenger. How does one find it on Facebook Messenger?
So if you go to Facebook and type SnehAI Aapki Dost, you can find the bot. That's a Facebook page that the bot is hosted on. Or what I'll also do is share the link to the bot in the chat box so everyone can look at it.
And what permissions does it ask for to be used?
Not anything other than what you've already provided to Facebook. So if you're a Facebook user, then it will not ask for any additional information. So one of the very key aspects of the chatbot is something that I should have mentioned is privacy. So we do not save any personally identifiable information for any user. So all we really do is track aggregate level data. So how many males and females and
meaning metadata.
Yeah. So even if some user inputs their name or email or phone number, that's never really asked for. But if they do add it there, it's redacted from the data and never really saved. So privacy is one of the biggest sort of aspects that we sort of build in getting out to especially adolescents who are looking for a private and a non-judgmental space so that no one's really hearing their or reading into their conversations.
Great. And how many people do you have behind that chatbot to is it just a bot or there are people behind it? So
it's a bot. It works on artificial intelligence. It understands your conversations and responds accordingly with the content that's already been built onto the bot. So there are different chat flows that are there, and it understands what you're trying to look for and tells you the information. And in case the bot cannot answer those queries, one is, of course, it tells you that I will not be able to answer that right away. And we take that data to build on more content or sort of address those bot breaks in subsequent development efforts. So it's really a robot. So when you get onto it, the young people or the adolescents are also told that it's a robot that you're speaking to. That's also one aspect of the whole privacy and non-judgmental space creation, that you're not really speaking to any real person who may judge you for your choices or your questions.
That's great. That's great. Good to know all these details, and we'll remain connected and let's work together on this front, because there are very few organizations which are working on this issue, and it's really needed that even those little few organizations who are working on this issue, we connect with each other and for the cause of children. Thank you so much, Tejwinder. It was nice.